evening. Today is Monday, January 10th, and this is the Personnel and Administration Committee. I'm Council President Mark LaPlante, and I'm not going to be here for much longer because one of the first courses of business this evening is to nominate a committee chair and the vice chair. But as I start this meeting, we'll do it in the traditional manner. If you could please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. So the first course of action this evening is to accept nominations for the committee chair. I do recognize Vice President Estela Reyes. For what purpose do you rise, Vice President Reyes?
To recommend the chair, Councilor Payano.
There's a nomination for Councilor Payano. Are there any other nominations? Councilor Payano, do you accept the nomination?
I'll accept the nomination.
At this point, I will do a roll call vote for Councilor Payano. Councilor Vice President Estela Reyes.
Yes, Councilor Payano.
Councilor Maria Dela Cruz.
Yes.
Councilor Payano. And Councilor Stephanie Infante.
Yes.
Councilor Stephanie Infante votes affirmative for Mr. Payano. Mr. Payano.
Thank you, Mr.
Will you be voting for yourself?
Yes.
So it is unanimous. I will now hand over the stapler to you. Before I relinquish the floor completely, I just wanted to, as we can tell this evening, it's going to be important, whoever chairs the meeting or vice chairs, there's a presence here because of this computer that's here. That there needs to navigate this. So I know we're in a hybrid setting, but there always needs to be at least a presence by the leadership of this committee here so they can navigate and move all the buttons and all of that stuff. And so that's where I leave it. And councilors, I will always be available to you if need be to get a quorum as best I can. Obviously, I'll be telling this to all the department, all the chairmen of the committee. Please stay in good contact with me as we approach the meeting. Let me know how things are going. So if I need to come, I will. And hopefully everything, I'm sure we've got some veteran leadership on this committee, so I'm sure everything is going to be fantastic. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. You have the floor and the stapler.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Mr. President, and I want to thank the members of the committee for voting for me, for nominating me for this position. We will now move on to the position of Vice Chair. Are there any nominations for Vice Chair? Yes, Councilor Reyes.
Yes, I would like to nominate Councilor Maria de la Cruz as a vice chair.
Councilor Maria de la Cruz. Well, is this second?
Thank you. I want to accept the nomination.
So we need a second first.
Second.
So the motion has been seconded. And Councilor de la Cruz, do you accept the nomination?
I said no, thank you. I want to accept the nomination.
All right, we will now move to a roll call vote. We will start with Councilor Reyes.
Well, she's not accepting.
I'm sorry, I did not hear. She said she is not accepting the nomination?
She's not accepting the nomination. That's what she said. She's not accepting the nomination.
Well, and that motion drops.
So we have.
Are there any other nominations? I cannot nominate.
I would like to nominate Stephanie Infante as a vice chair.
There is a nomination for Stephanie Infante as the vice chair. Has this been seconded?
Second the nomination?
There is a second. Councilor Infante, do you accept the nomination?
Yes.
So nomination has been accepted. We will now move for a roll call vote. Councilor De La Cruz.
Yes.
Councilor Infante.
Yes.
Councilor Reyes.
Yes.
And the chair votes in affirmative. Congratulations, Councilor Infante. Moving on to the rest of the agenda. We have minutes from August 23rd. Is there a motion?
So moved.
There's a motion by Councilor Reyes to approve the minutes of August 23rd. Is there a second? I need a second to approval of the minutes.
Second?
It's been seconded by Councilor De La Cruz. We will now move to a vote. Councilor De La Cruz.
Yes. Yes.
Councilor Reyes.
Yes.
Councilor Infante.
I abstain.
I vote yes. Motion passes. We will now move on to new items. Item 1022, appointment of Modesto Maldonado to the Lawrence Redevelopment Authority Board. If you can please state your name for the record.
Good evening, Chair Payano. My name is Octavian Spanner. I'm the advisor to Mayor Brian A. DePena.
Thank you, Mr. Spanner. Can you talk to us? So we have a motion here to appoint Mr. Modesto Maldonado to the Redevelopment Authority Board. Can you talk us through that?
Yeah, sure. Actually, we would like to table this item because his application has not been received because Mr. Maldonado is not available, wasn't available because of his medical condition, health condition. So we would rather make a request to table the item.
Thank you. Councilors, is there a motion to table item 1022?
Motion to table item 1022.
There is a motion by Councilor Reyes, by Vice President Reyes, to table item 1022. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion has been seconded by Councilor Infante. We will now move to a vote. All those in favor, oh, no, it's virtual. We will do a roll call vote. Councilor De La Cruz.
Yes.
Councilor Reyes.
Yes.
Councilor Infante.
Yes.
And the chair votes in affirmative. So item 1022 has been tabled. We will now move to item 1122, the appointment of Sarah Perez to the Lawrence Redevelopment Authority Board. Director Spanner.
Good evening once again, dear committee members. As you know, all know, redevelopment authorities are a high-level advisory board, serving as a vehicle for eliminating blight and stimulating redevelopment in municipalities under the Commonwealth, under Massachusetts General Law 121B. Through this chapter allows municipalities through the Redevelopment Authority acting as an urban renewal agency to eliminate and redevelop substandard, blighted open areas for industrial, commercial, business, residential, recreational, educational, or other purposes, with the goals of revitalizing such land uses and encouraging new growth. Redevelopment authorities have the power to establish rehabilitation and design criteria, assemble and dispose of land, relocate businesses and residents occupying urban renewal sites, demolish or rehabilitate substandard structures, participate in real estate development and commercial revitalization issue bonds, borrow money, and invest funds. In addition to those activities, the redevelopment authorities, they also are able to receive grants or apply for grants, receive loans, accept gifts or requests. Mayor Brian DePena, under his new leadership, under his new administration, is making recommendation to revive the Lawrence Redevelopment Authority. As to our understanding and the understanding of the mayor, the Redevelopment Authority has not been active for a while. The reason for this is because of his the goal of his administration in attracting new investment and stimulating redevelopment in the city, mostly commercial, and not excluding residential, but to attract more workforce housing and market rate housing in the community. Therefore, in order for this board to be functioning, there's a few vacant positions, one of which the mayor has the authority to appoint. We are making or supporting the mayor's on the Sarah Perez application to be part of a member of the board. The reason for that, she is very known in the community. She's a business person herself with at least two decades serving the community in different capacities, including in nonprofit organizations. She has formed part of different committees in the past. Amongst them, I can believe that it's included within her application package. She's a honorable person in the community, and as you can see in her application, I believe is on the third page, in the bottom, which indicates any volunteer work that she has performed in the city of Lawrence. There we can see that she has been part of Lawrence Community Works as board member and vice president, Intentional Book Fair, Federación Hispana de Comerciantes, which she's actually the executive director, Manos en Acción, First Start Foundation, and the Top Notch Scholars organization. So the mayor is recommending the approval of her application, the application of Ms. Sarah Perez Marquez.
Thank you, Director Spanner. Councilors, are there any questions?
No question.
Seems like there are no questions. Director Spanner, can you let us know what the term is for this position?
The term is 5 years.
Director Spanner, if you can just make sure that that's I do not see that in the application. So if you can make sure, I'm sure that if this were to go on to the full city councilor, that is a question that other councilors will ask.
Okay, good.
Councilors, if there are no other questions, what would you like to do with this motion?
Councilor Payano, I have a question.
Go ahead, Councilor De La Cruz.
Yes. How long was that position before? For how many years?
Councilor De La Cruz, how long has it been open, Councilor De La Cruz, or for how long is the usual term?
The usual term, yes.
Councilor De La Cruz, I couldn't hear you, I'm sorry.
My question is, how long was the position before? For how long?
So I believe the question is, for how long has this position been inactive?
I can't answer that. Hi, just for the public, Attorney Raquel Ruano, the city attorney. I'm actually here on a separate matter, but I have been working with the mayor's office on this appointment. I couldn't tell you how long this specific position has been vacant, but I can tell you that the way that the law is written is that there are 5 members with 5-year terms, and every member, at least one member, must expire every year. So we have I believe, hold on, I'm trying to see if I remember this. We have already Anna Medina, whose term expires in 2023, Eric Walker, who expires in 2024, and Eddie Rosa, who expires in 2025. So there is one 5-year term vacancy that is open, which I believe is the vacancy that the mayor is looking to appoint. And I would just, as an aside note, because you did mention that council would want to know, all appointments expire on August 11th of whatever year. So should Ms. Parker be appointed and confirmed by council, her 5-year term should end on August 11th, 2027. But that is the information that I have, and like I said, I don't know how long this specific position has been vacant, but I can let you know that's how the LRA is supposed to be set up.
Thank you, City Attorney. Councilor La Cruz?
Thank you.
Council, are there any other questions? Since there are no other questions, are there any recommendations for this motion? Councilor Reyes, for where do you stand?
Yes. I said the motion to approve.
There is a motion to send this to the full council with a favorable recommendation, Councilor Reyes?
Yes.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion has been second. We will now call for a roll call vote. Councilor De La Cruz?
Present?
Councilor Reyes?
Yes.
Councilor Infante?
Yes.
The chair votes in affirmative. This will be on the next city council meeting.
Thank you.
Thank you, Director.
Thank you very much.
We now move to item 282-21, contract renewal for City Attorney Ruano. Councilors, we are currently on this item. This item was discussed previously at the last year or a few weeks ago at the, wow, I can't remember, the Committee of the Whole. And it's now in front of us today. Councilors, is there anything that you'd like to do with this item?
Councilor Payano.
Councilor Reyes?
Yes, I was not present when you opened a discussion, but before, I didn't think it was no changes to the contract. Is there any changing in the contract? Because I don't have that information in my email.
Yes, Councilor Reyes, there were several changes to the contract. I do not have the amended contract in front of me, but some of the changes were around income. There was, I believe, a 3% increase in income, and then there were changes on vacation time as well, and the starting date.
Time it has changed.
Correct.
What was the change?
City Attorney, if you might be able to come up. Thank you. I know we're discussing your item, your contract, but can you walk us through the changes that were suggested or that were talked about in the last meeting?
Of course. For everybody on Zoom and in person, the first change is really just the dates. If you were to look at my old contract, it has a start date of March of 2019. So that was updated to March of 2022. That is the first change. The second change is the old contract had a starting salary of $125,000. And there is an opportunity on the anniversary of the contract to have an increase of 3%. And so the contract went from 2019 to 2020 to 2021. So currently my salary has been raised in those 2 prior years 3%. So the new contract has the updated salary of an increase of 3% from my last salary in my old contract. But the same escalators are there as well. So it's remained a 3-year contract, and it has remained, should city council through an ad hoc committee determine that I am eligible and entitled to a raise, we will meet annually to determine what salary increase, if any, and it can be up to 3%. So the KPIs remain the same. It's just that the current salary has been updated to reflect a 3% increase. Do you have any questions on that? There's one more change too, but just before I move on, I didn't know if any of the counselors that are present or any of those that are on Zoom have any questions on those 2 changes.
Council, is there any question as to what Attorney Ruano has just stated?
No, thank you. For me,
Motion.
just clarify whatever, I didn't have in front of me, but thank you.
Okay. And then the
Thank you for the clarification.
Okay.
Go ahead, City Attorney.
And then the last change, I'm sorry, would be on the vacation. So the old contract had a vacation period that was escalating every year. I think it began at 4 weeks, and then it ended up at 5 weeks. And then the current contract, instead of an escalation, it would keep it a flat 6 weeks for the pendency of the entire contract. And those are the 3 changes that are in the current contract that's before this council. Just to highlight it from my old contract that's in effect right now and through March of 2022.
Councilors, are there any other questions?
Motion to send to the full council with favor recommendation.
There is a motion to send this item to the full council with favor recommendation. Is there a second?
Second.
This item has been seconded. We will now move on to a roll call vote. Council De La Cruz.
Yes.
Councilor Reyes.
Yes.
Councilor Infante.
Yes. Yes.
And the chair votes in affirmative. This will be at the meeting of the next city council.
Thank you.
Councilors, is there any item from tabled matters that you would like to take out? If not, is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
There is a motion to adjourn. Has this item been seconded?
Second the motion.
There is a motion to adjourn. It has been seconded by Councilor De La Cruz. We will now move to a roll call vote. Councilor De La Cruz. Councilor De La Cruz.
Yes.
Councilor Reyes.
Yes.
Councilor Infante.
Yes. Yes.
And the chair votes in affirmative. Good evening, everybody.